Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coleman & Company Cut and Press webinar. Tonight, we're going to be making some vinyl t-shirts with this right here, using the cut and press system. So we're going to make a shirt just like this. And my name is Mark Vila, and I appreciate everybody taking some time this evening to join us so we can talk a little bit about making t-shirts using just a heat press and a cutting plotter, along with vinyl material, similar to what we see here. So we're going to get in up close and take a look at all these things. But for now, just want to lay out some just some basic things on how the webinar will work, how the live demonstration will work, and a couple things that hopefully don't glitch out on you. Okay, so first thing is I actually see a question popped up already. Yay, I hear you. Okay, great. So somebody got on. The first thing I just want to make sure is that everybody can hear and see us the whole time. So first things to just make sure are that we're on the top window. We want to be on the top window of your computer. You should see our camera or our computer screen the whole time. If anything else is ahead, your computer's resources are going to go towards that, and you're not going to get as good of a video quality. And when we get up and close and seeing this stuff, you're going to want to see it nice, crisp, and clear. Also, we are going to switch between the camera that you see right now and a computer monitor. During that time, you may lose the video for a second. That happens. It's just part of the internet. Or if you do, just click off the screen, click back on it, or you can turn the video off and click it back on. And then, of course, if you're really having an issue, then definitely click that question button. You'll see a little button on your screen right there. It's a little bubble box where you can click it and ask or say or make any comments or questions that you want during this webinar. I will answer all of them. So for now, we're going to go ahead and get things started. What I'll do is I'm going to turn off the camera, say bye to you for just a couple moments. I'm going to turn on the computer screen, show you a few things there. We're going to get into the software a little bit. I'm going to show you how I made this two-color design right here. And then we're going to go ahead and bring it out and actually cut it out and get it onto a shirt so you can see some finished products. So let's go ahead and turn the video off for now. Okay. And now we're going to be on my monitor. Okay. So you should see the Coleman & Company website right now. You'll see another video of myself right there where we put a previous live webinar that we've done. That's a good one if you want to do some more research and watch. We took and made that Rams logo that you can see, and we made a women's version and a men's version, essentially, kind of a pink and a blue and a glitter and an opaque color. So that's a popular webinar. That's why we put it on there. And we'll go through this a little bit later and talk about some other things that we'll find on the website. I always like to start off all of our webinars talking about our Facebook group. This group grows every single day. If you're not already a member, please join. We talk, we announce webinars. People come on here and ask questions. Hey, where can I find these Nike jerseys? Has anyone found them? Someone was asking for them. People ask about different tips. How do I do this with DTG printing? How do I do this with embroidery? So join the group, and it's everything from business to how-tos, and of course, exclusive information from Coleman & Company and Coldesi as well. So what I'm going to do is, and a couple things that I'll do, is I'll copy things like this, and I'm going to put them right into our chat. So if you notice, another little thing, we've got a little chat window, and you'll see my link come through. I'll probably share a couple other links throughout the webinar as well. The next thing to talk about is the podcast that we run. There's a Custom Apparel Startups podcast. So this is a radio show, an internet radio show. You can play it right here. You can download the episodes. You can listen to them on iTunes. Myself, Mark Vila, and Mark Stevenson are the hosts, and we talk about all the different things that are the apparel decorating business. So we talk about working on your business instead of in your business, basically growing your business. Tripping over pennies when people really start worrying about these little supply costs when there's bigger worries that they should be concerned about first. And then everything from just, should I have a website or not? What are some marketing essentials? So none of this is sales pitches. None of these are things that we sell. It's all education just for you, and especially if you're new to the business It's a great resource. Start at one and work your way up. The next thing to look at is how you got here. I just like to do a little pitch on this. Since we're coming into a holiday week, we've only got a couple webinars, but we usually have about 6 or so planned out in advance. But with the holiday week, it'll be a little slower and pick back up soon. We do have another one tonight, though. So if you're not busy and you're interested in embroidery and rhinestones, that's what we're going to do right after this. But I'll share both of these links in the chat as well. So here is the podcast link if you're into that, or just search for it on your iPhone, your podcast app if you already listen. And here is the webinar link. And then at the end, we'll share the cut and press link for the website once we get into this. So it looks like everybody has joined in that we were waiting on. So if you just joined or you're a little late, you didn't miss anything that fantastic yet. You just missed all the introductions. So now we're getting into the good stuff. I'm going to open up our Graphtec Studio software, okay? This is what comes with the cut and press system. So this will do all of your artwork. If you are new to the business, then you don't need to buy Corel Draw. You don't need to buy Adobe Illustrator or anything like that. I say yet, you might grow into that in the future, depending, but if you're getting started, just use this. You're going to save yourself a bunch of headaches of trying to learn something else that you don't need to learn at first. And I'll show you why, because for the most part, you can do everything that you want right with what comes with the system. And the great thing is that it communicates directly with your cutter. So you can actually go on here and you can hit, automatic, and it reads that I have a full giant roll there and the width, and I can click here and go right into where I am. So you can automatically find how big of a sheet you have. If you have a 12-inch sheet, it's going to automatically resize to that. If you got a big roll, it resizes to that. So it allows you to actually communicate better and control essentially everything on your cutter right from your computer. So that's an advantage over using another piece of graphic software right from the beginning. Well, I'd like to come here and show you how we're going to turn this JPEG image. This is just a logo, just like you might receive from anybody else. Could be a mascot, could be a logo. And we're going to turn this into a shirt, and then I'll show you some other things that we can create with it as well. So first, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so we can see close. All right. And what I want to do is take this JPEG image and turn it into lines that we can cut and define what colors we're going to cut those in. Okay? So first things first, I'm going to open up this tracing tool. And by the way, ask questions. I will stop every once in a while and jump into the questions as people ask them. So I'm going to trace the area that I want to turn into vector lines for cutting. As you can see now, if we look close, it's a little bit confused. It doesn't know where we are yet or where we want to be. It just knows that these are lines, and we need to tell it where to go. So since we're dealing with a lot of solid colors here, I can actually turn on my filter here, and I can turn on these different filters. And these different filters will allow me to actually go in and really tweak where I want to be, okay? But what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut 2 different colors. So I have to essentially get in here, and it's going to be smart enough to realize that there's multiple things going on here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get it, and you can see where that second color comes in. You see where it's not in there, and now it is? So that's right where I want to be at first, because this is the first section that I want to cut, is actually the letters and that first portion of the design. So I'm going to trace this. And just like that, you click trace, and now we've got something defined right here that we can cut. Okay? Now, as you can see, I don't want that. This square right here, that's part of the blue. I don't want that part of the blue. I'm going to get to that in a minute, though, okay? The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again. And this is one of many ways to do it. The way I'm showing you now is the least complex way to do it that you might do it when you first get started. As you get deeper into things, we can talk about some other ways that you might recreate this. But this is one way to do it. All right, so now I'm going to cut it again because there's a couple pieces in here that I want, really. Specifically, I want this end to come out just right. So I'm going to trace this one as well. All right, so now I've got a couple things going on here, right? So, and then I'm going to do a third thing here in a minute. All right, so the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in pretty close here. And again, if you are a direct-to-garment printer already, which I know we have some folks here who do direct-to-garment printing, and they want to look at this for alternative ways to be able to do, say, sports jerseys and stuff like that, which is why you would want a vinyl system. You might be looking at this and saying, I know a much easier way you can cut this up. There are. Again, I'm trying to make this just a nice, easy way and a comfortable way for people who don't know how to do graphics. See how this says draw a polygon? Well, we're going to draw that polygon. So I'm going to get in a little bit closer. Now, I'm far away. You're much closer to your monitor than I am, but I can see it pretty well. So I'm going to draw this. Okay, so now I've drawn another polygon there, a triangle. For those less geometry inclined, geographically inclined. Is there a word for that? All right, so now I'm going to get rid of that. So as you can see, I've got a few different pieces on my screen here, and now I'm going to put these all together. So the way that I did it was I took a glitter material and I used all the lettering except for that N in the middle in the glitter material. So that's where the first thing that I want to focus on is to be able to create that. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to release the path, basically break all these apart. So I broke it all apart, and I don't want this one anymore. So this is going to be my glitter color. So I'm going to grab all these, and I'm going to make it a path again. Now these are all connected as one piece. And then I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to make this my darker color, because I've got, it's like an onyx type of color. The next thing that I want is this triangle that I created. And I'm going to make this the other color, which we did like a taupe color. So I'm going to use this for that color now. So that's going to go right here. Now I'm going to get it nice and close so we can see it well. Okay. And now we've got that in place. Now I'm going to release this path because I don't want a bunch of these things. I don't want these letters because we've already taken care of them. And I don't need this. Or that. Or that. This is what I want. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to make these guys a compound path. And I'm going to change them to this color as well. Okay. So now we've got a couple parts to our logo. And then we can put them together or not. It doesn't really matter at this point in time. And you'll see why. But for now, I'm going to put them together so we can see it nice and clear how it's going to look. And here I can actually go here and tweak this just in the right spot. And let's see if we're all lined up. We are. And we can also turn on a grid, by the way. There's a ton of things that I'm not showing you in this software. There's a million things we could do in this. We can show and hide a grid. We could change the size of the grid and how it adjusts. We can go in and actually fill these colors in if we wanted to actually see them in more of a real life color. And we can manually go in and actually adjust every single point on this. So I can actually click here, and if I didn't like the way that this particular, say, end piece, if it didn't exactly cut how I want it to be, or if this nodes were just a little bit off, I'm fine with that little overlap. Actually, that actually helps a little bit in situations like that, but that's a little bit of the theory on vinyl, and some people might even overlap it even more. But you could go in here and you could edit all these individual nodes. You can add nodes. There's a ton of things you could do. You can manually draw shapes, or there's a ton of shapes already preset in the software. And this is why I love this Graphtec Studio software, is besides the fact that it connects directly with your cutter, it is just super simple because it's designed exactly for this. So that's ready to cut, literally. We can send this over to our cutter. Now, there's a couple things to talk about. We can go in here, and this is rotating it, say, 90 degrees right now. I don't need that. I don't want to rotate it at all. But what I do want it is I want it mirrored. Okay, so now that I've done this, it's going to stay this way for the next time I go to do it. It is actually mirrored to where when I cut it, it cuts it in reverse. And the reason is because the vinyl we're cutting, we cut from the back side of the vinyl. So before we go to the cutter, I see some questions popped up. Let me go ahead and jump in on there and see if I need to go back for a moment before we leave the software. Geometrically. Thank you. I knew there was a word I was looking for. Okay. Thank you for the comments. They're a lot of fun. I appreciate interaction of any sorts. So the next one we're going to go in here is to take a look at this. This is the configuring of the job, right? Now, there's all and there's by color. You see by color? So this says it's applying conditions, based on the color that we want. So we are only going to cut one color at a time. So the first thing that I would do is I would take this, and right now I would turn off that taupe color, just have the onyx color, and I'd send that to the cutter. This is ready to cut. I'll move it up so you can see it clearly. Then we go to our cutter, and I should be connected to the cutter now, am I? Okay, I am. So you see it says the cutter is ready. So at this point in time, I would click start, and it would start cutting this out. Okay, the next thing that we would do is we'd come over here, and I'd say if I was going to do 10 of these, I might actually come up here and I'll just show you a little trick because I think this is pretty cool. I can come on here and I can select the whole design, and I can have a replication window, and I can fill the entire page. I could mirror it to the left. You see how it filled up the whole thing. So now I can cut a ton of these on a giant roll, or I could just duplicate it once. Let me go back. There we go. I can mirror it to the right. I can mirror it to the round, above, left, right, all these different things. So there's a lot of different things we could do in recreating many of these at once or just cutting one at a time. Okay, this software is Graphtec Studio. Somebody asked what cutters will it work. This is Graphtec Studio. So this is if you're buying a Graphtec cutter that comes with the cut and press system. If you're buying another cutter, I can't guarantee that there's what communication you're going to get out of it, because it's very similar to if I bought a Hewlett-Packard printer. Would the software that comes with it work in my Epson? Maybe, maybe not, maybe some of it, maybe all of it. So that's really going to depend on that. This software is not sold separately. The software comes with the cutter package. It's not a standalone product. But now it's time to actually cut something out, because I want to show you that. I want to show you how it weeds, and I want to put it on a shirt for you. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to go, we would go over to here. I've already got that part cut out ahead of time, so we didn't have to spend a lot of time cutting. Like a chef. You got to be like a chef. You got to have some stuff pre-prepared. But we're going to cut out this portion right here. So I'd go here. I'd go to send to my cutter, and then we can click send to cutter. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to disconnect from the software. So this is a good time to ask any final software questions. I'm going to disconnect from the software. I'm actually moving around a little bit here. We're going to get a little bit closer to the cutter so we can see it actually cut. And now I'm going to switch over. It looks like we're good on the software question, so I'm going to turn this off. Okay, the software is gone now. Now you'll see the video come up in just a moment. Okay, oh, perfect. I lined that up nicely without even seeing it. All right, and then now, okay, now we're going to send this over to the cutter. So let me show you a few things while we're here. I'm going to take a walk over. All right, so we can cut two different types of material with this, as I mentioned. No, we can cut many different types of material. Tonight, we're going to be cutting it too. Okay. Don't change the origin on the machine. All right, so we're going to be cutting a glitter material, and we're going to be cutting this opaque material right here. Now, there's rollers in the back, and we've got a full roll of it back here. And when we send this to the cutter, essentially what it's going to do is this motor is going to move back and forth, and there's a knife right here that's going to cut it. And you can adjust this knife in a lot of different ways to fit your different types of materials, and there's presets set into here. So right now, if you can or cannot read it, it says opaque vinyl. It's a preset that I've made for this, so it's ready to cut the opaque. Then we're going to switch it to glitter in a few, and we're actually going to cut some glitter. So let me move over here, and I'll start the cutter. All right, someone said they couldn't see the video. As I mentioned before, click away or click back or turn off the video. I've had in the past a couple folks actually have to leave and come back. That's not common, but you might have to. And that sometimes is just the internet connection. All right, we're done. That cuts quick, as you can see. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to come around to the front here. Let me get my little knife. This kit comes with everything you need. It comes with even a little cutter like this. Now I'm feeding it out. Since I'm doing one job, I could have been even a little smarter and told the software to actually spit it out for me a little bit so I can cut it because I'm only cutting one piece. It actually will do that, or you can have it cut a whole bunch in a row. So I've got it. There's a little part in here where I can actually put this blade in. I missed the end. There we go. And now we've got this ready to weed. Now, if you can see the lines a little bit in the video. There you go. In the light, you really can see it. So now we're going to weed this right over here. And I do see that some questions popped up. I'm going to take a look at those before I start to weed this, just to make sure that there's no issues. Okay. All right, very good. Yeah, a couple of people had lost the image for a minute. It just happens. I don't know why. I've never been able to figure out why that happens sometimes with the software, but it's usually just one or two people. Okay, so now we're going to weed this out. All right, we're clear. All right, looks good. So this is a weeding tool that comes with it. It's very much like a dental pick, and I'm going to grab a corner of it to get started. And that's really the main thing I need it for right here. And we're just going to start peeling it off. Now, this is FDC vinyl, FDC brand vinyl. It's a really nice for weeding vinyl. As you can see, there's not a lot of work going on here to do this. This is ready to go onto the shirt just about. The last little bit is that end. I don't need the inside of that end. Oh, and I lost a little piece in the end. There we go. So there's that portion that you can see right there. So I'm going to put this aside for now. I'll stick it right here so you can see it. And I've cut out, as you can see already, I cut out the glitter portion of it here. So this one actually lifts a little bit easier because of the glitter, since it's a more of a rigid surface. I didn't even actually need the weeding tool to get this going. It's also it's a flexible material, and actually you'll see it when we're cutting it out. It might actually tear in some spots, but it's not going to tear on your lettering. That's very, very rare that I've actually torn what I'm cutting out. I don't know if I've actually ever done it. So what I like to do on this one, since it comes off so easily, I kind of rock it back and forth. And as you can see, if you can, like a little spot like this stuck behind, because this one comes up really easily. I mean, I could rip this straight off, but then I would have to actually weed a little bit more afterwards. I don't want to have to do that. Try to get it off in one piece as much as I can. Makes the job a whole lot easier. Let me go around. This one's got a bunch of little lettering in it. Now, when you've got little lettering in a design, then, there's a little bit more weeding to do with that. And I prefer, my personal preference is, if I'm doing a bunch of little lettering, I'd rather do it in one big piece so I don't have to get in there and dig those little pieces. A little bit extra time in this first pull is worth a ton of time at the end. So now I'll just grab these little pieces of lettering. Pop that out. And we're almost done. the P, the E, and I got a couple little ones down here. Got that one. And these, I mean, this literally just pops out. You almost don't even need the tool. The tool just helps you get in right in the spot. And there's that portion right there. Okay, so there's the cut and press, and there's this portion. That actually goes the other way, but we're going to put that onto a shirt. Now, what's happened a lot lately is a bunch of folks have come and said, hey, I have a direct-to-garment printer, or I do embroidery, and I have an issue with garments like this. They're really popular. They're these, this one's called a dry star. I think it's made by, I don't know. It's a recycled polyester made by Starter. So it's a recycled, it's a polyester, it's a moisture wick, it is treated for odors. It's kind of it's a hard scenario. It's a thin garment. It's really thin and lightweight. So embroidery is not going to work if you're an embroiderer. If you do direct-to-garment printing, you're not going to want a direct-to-garment print on this material either. It's just not designed for that. It's not good for that. This is a perfect scenario on why adding a vinyl system to your business is going to solve some problems for you. I do see a couple questions, so I'm just going to move and just look really fast. Okay, so someone had asked, and this is a good question, I'm going to answer it while I'm moving along. Someone had asked, how does this compare to the silhouette or the cameo or some different things like that? That is the equivalent of, how can I put just a nice simple example on how we can compare this? That is the equivalent of having a really, really light duty, a drivable cart, like a John Deere Gator or something like that, a really little drivable car where I can put a bunch of, dirt and mulch in the back and carry it around, compared to having a pickup truck. Okay, if I bought a Ford pickup, this is a Ford pickup truck that we're looking up, or a Chevy truck, or Toyota, whatever your kind of truck is, and a cameo or a silhouette is like having a little portable type of thing. It's small, it's not really fast. It will do the job. It will cut vinyl. It will cut this vinyl. It's not going to do it very fast. It's not going to be very efficient. It's not awesome for a business. This is a commercial grade machine. You will cut this. You can cut in this all day, every day, and it will last the length of your business. It will probably outlast every single other piece of equipment that you have, honestly. We have people who have Graphtec cutters that I've had this thing for 8 years. They're just simple design. They're really high quality, and we've literally not had one bad one go out the door yet. I haven't seen a bad or defective machine yet. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-press this just a couple seconds. 5 seconds is the recommendation from FTC. So this is a nice smooth surface we have to work with. I'm going to do my first layer. Center it up on the shirt. And what's nice about working with vinyl is if you didn't place it right, this is why it's a good starter thing too. If you didn't place it right, I feel like I did place it right, but I'm just making a point. And now you can put it back down. So now we need to do our first press. This is great about FTC vinyl. That's it. Oh, no, not yet. Am I not hot? Let me see. I'm not hot.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I knew that was true all along.
No. We lost power for a minute, I think.
Okay.
Let me see. Let's see if it's on. Okay, sweet. Let's do something else then, okay? While this is going, I am going, because I was going to cut out some lettering for you too. This is going to take not long. It's at 200 degrees. That's not enough to cook the vinyl though. So I'm going to move this aside, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the software again because I was going to make some lettering for you. So we're going to switch between two colors because a lot of people ask, how do I do a go from one color to another color? What's the work in between it? So I'm going to show you that real quick. So I'm going to turn off the video for a moment and go to the computer while this is heating up. And we're just going to start a new document. Now you should see my computer screen, by the way. We're back in Graphtec Studio. And we're just going to do some small numbers because I'm going to put these on some sports shorts. So we'll do like number 53. Random number, first one popped in my head. We can go through all different true type fonts built right into the software. We don't get too complicated. I think I have like a couple college fonts or something like that. If not, there's one in the beginning I know I like that's good for jerseys. No, I don't want to use any of those. But anyway, there's tons. I like this Acme one a lot. So we can actually just drag to the size that we want. We can also adjust the points. If there's a bold or an underline or an italic available, you can do that as well. You can adjust the character spacing, which I'm going to push it out a little bit because we're going to do a couple different colors. All right. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take these out of numbers right now, and I'm going to convert them to paths. I like to work in the paths and pull them out of numbers when I don't need to. You don't have to. And I'm going to actually do that because I like how this offset works with those. This offset is going to give me that second layer right there. And then you can also make it a harder corner edge, or you can make it a rounded, and we can adjust how far away they are from each other. So I'm going to do it like that. So now I can do two different colors right now. Now I'm going to take these outside pieces, and I'm going to make these a path, and these inside pieces are. So there's one, and there's your other. And I'm going to do this one in the, oh, that's not the right one. There we go. I'm going to do the background. I'm going to do in the taupe type color. I think I just used that for the representation. In the foreground, I'm going to do in that onyx color. And this is how I'm going to cut. Now, there's actually two things I'm going to do here, okay? I'm going to cut out the first one in the taupe color that I've already got. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut out the onyx color and the glitter and lay that right over top. And I'm just going to show how you can layer it. You can also go into this graphic and do something a little bit different too. You can actually go in here and cut the whole thing out like this in both of them and actually weed it out so you don't have as thick of a layer. Some people don't want to layer it. They just want to have the different colors on there, but you can go directly on top. So I want to show you that in this demo because I think that is what most people ask. Can I just put it right on top? Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to do the background and that, and I'm going to do the top and the onyx. That's actually what I'm going to do. Okay, so the first thing I will do is I'm going to go over to our cutting tool here, and I'm going to cut out this. This is the first thing I'm going to cut out. And let me look at the size. Check your size to make sure you're cutting it where you want. It's about 4 by 2.8. I'm going to adjust it down just a bit. I wanted to do 2.5 on the lettering. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to cut this. I just want to cut that one color. It's syncing with the cutter to make sure we're connected. It's making sure that it's in ready mode. It says it's ready. I can go over to the machine, make sure the origin is set. It is. And now I'm ready to start my production runs. So I could, again, just like last time, I could do a bunch of numbers in a row, or I could do one at a time. So it's cutting this. And now that I showed you that side of it, is where I would flip over to this one. But now I'm going to switch back to the video. And my heat press is pretty much hot, so we'll be able to do that real quick too. So I'm going to switch back to the video. Okay, we're here. So I'm going to push this down. I'm going to work from behind it. Now, normally what I would do is I would fill up this row. You don't want to waste your vinyl if you don't have to. It's not going to cost you a ton of money, but still. And I have some scissors here. Now I'm going to cut this because I definitely will use this. You can actually cut a piece about this size through here. If it's thin enough to fit between those two blue lines, you can cut it that small. So as you can see, that will work. You can actually use this piece. So I'm going to save that because I'm going to use that another day. And I'm going to weed this out real quick. And then we're going to switch and we're going to cut the other one because it's really that quick. What I recommend for production is to do everything in steps. I found a lot of people just find that works really well. Do everything in steps. So I would cut all of this color, I would cut all the other color, and while it's cutting, then I would come over here and do my weeding. But we'll do one at a time really quick just to give you a little demo. So here's last time we did it up close, here's a little farther back so you can see how I'm doing it. That one's ready to go. Now, how do we switch? I've got my glitter here. There's a lever back here. I push that down, and this comes out. We'll put our new one in, and we're going to make two adjustments. I'm working from behind. I like to do it in the front usually, but this will work just fine. Actually, I need to go to the front. I can't see. There we go. Much easier. Come on here, lock this back. Now I'm going to turn the camera so you can actually see a little better. There we go. So this is in its place, and there's actually lines so you can guide it even to make sure it's even. I'm going to lock this up. Now I'm going to set that I'm doing a roll, the front edge of a roll. Now there's two things I'm going to adjust, okay? The first one I'm going to adjust is I'm going to change it to glitter. So I've got that preset saved. Now it says glitter vinyl roll. And I'm going to take my blade. I'm going to take it out to show you. You can do it from right in the machine. But on your blade here, there's an adjustment here. I'm going to adjust this around, and I'm basically going to do a full half turnabout. So I can see it's lined up here. I'm going to do a full half turn all the way around to get it on the opposite side. And that's about where I want to be for my glitter. And then this falls right in. It just drops in. It's a one-hand job, and that just hand tights down. Now this is ready to cut glitter. Now, I'm fairly confident that it's just fine the way that it is. Normally what you would do is you would run a test cut to make sure, but I've gone back and forth a bunch of times. I feel pretty comfortable that I'm just going to cut it. And if it doesn't work right, you get to see me make another mistake. But it will. It'll be fine. So I'm going to come back to my software. And in the back end, what you don't see me doing, just so I don't have to switch back and forth, I'm switching that color again like you saw the last time. And now I see the 5 and the 3. Going over to the cutting. It is syncing like we saw it sync before. Making sure my origin is in the right spot. And I'm setting it to the cutter. And now it's cutting out the 5 and the 3. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before. I have my scissors and my little knife. And this isn't even at full speed, actually. It can even go faster. So I'm going to push this forward. Okay, that's a good safe spot. Cut that through. And I made sure to cut this to leave a big enough piece that I can use this for another demonstration or for like a little sample for somebody. And we'll weed this. And again, this one you don't even need a weeding tool. And a couple pieces didn't come out, so I'll use it to get them out. There's that one. And here's our other part of the 3 that didn't quite pop out. Now, let's press both of these now that everything should be fine with my heat press, nice and hot. There we go. And this is a nice 300 plus degrees, right where we want to be. So now that didn't stick down before, obviously, so we're sticking it here. And again, now this should be perfectly fine. 1 second is all you need for the pre. hot, and that's on. Excuse my reach. Now I'll put this right on top. And what I'm actually doing is I'm lining up the C, that triangle in the C. I always find 2 points to line up on. So I'm lining up in the C and I'm lining up at the end of the lettering there. And that's it. It's not terribly hard to get this stuff lined up. So let me see if I can actually just get a little better view for you. A lot of people like to see this part. People always ask. So the P there is a nice straight line, and my C is as well. 2 perfect points to line up on, and that's it. It's quite easy. And now this, we're going to do this one for 10 seconds. Okay, that's our final press right there, is that 10-second time. And that's actually going to officially activate the glue that's on the back of this and allow it to actually make a permanent adhesion. So we're at our 10 seconds. By the way, this is the press that comes with it, the standard kit. You can upgrade to a larger press, and you can use any heat press. There we go. Very easy. You peel hot, and it comes off beautifully. And there we go. Let me try to get a better hold up of that. So now this is on a moisture-wicking material. It will wash fantastically. It's a really soft hand, as you can see. I mean, it's very pliable. And it's an awesome look. Now, one other thing. Let's do that 53. So I'm going to leave that here. I've got some sports shorts. Something else people talk about, you don't embroider this stuff. You do not direct-to-garment print this stuff. This is something that you can screen print or use vinyl. I find that the vinyl is just so easy to use, and there's just a lot of room, especially for folks who don't want to have to deal with screen printing and just the chemicals and mess that this is a lot cleaner way to do it. So we're going to layer it just like that. So I'm going to put it right on here. Great thing about these shorts is there's usually like a center line that was already there. So that's what I'm lining it up with. Come on here, same process. 1 second is all you need. Up. Don't need that. Again, find your points to line up on. I'm using the 3. There's a little square on the 3, and there's a little line on the 3 right there. It's 2 easy spots to line up on. Line that up, and we'll give this 10 seconds. Now, I've been surprised from our customers telling us how the glitter vinyl, especially in the dark colors, is getting really popular on the younger, even male crowd, which you don't normally think about that. But I had a guy come in here just the other day, and he said he's like the guys, like the football guys, he's like, they wanted the shirts in the dark color glitters. They just thought that this stuff it's just flashy, it's just flashy and it looks sharp. So, and here's that 53. I see Michael Georgievich. If you've called in or talked to Coleman and Company over the years, you know him. How did it come out? Awesome. Great job. So this again, this looks great. Let's get it right in the lighting here so you can see. So again, it's nice and pliable, so somebody will be able to work out and work in these shorts, which they're going to do. Let's see, the lighting is, there we go. That's much better for the lighting. So it looks awesome. It looks great. It's really easy to use.
Feels good.
It feels good. It definitely feels good. This is a really quality product that we're dealing with. So let me back up the camera a bit, and we'll finish up. We're going to about time to wrap up. So here's another view of our finished products that we made. There's the 53 on those shorts. Actually, that looks awesome. I'm really happy the way that came out.
Hang it over the cutter. It'll show up.
Yep. There we go. Thank you.
There we go.
There we go. So there's that. And here is the shirt that we made. We did it together. We did all this, even through all the talking and everything. The design and everything did not take that long at all. So there's 2 awesome looks for you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to answer some questions, and I'm going to switch over to our screen again, just so I can show you the cut and press and share a couple links for you. So camera off, screen on. Let's see. Can you use the vinyl with a different cutter? Absolutely. You can use it with any cutter out there. I haven't run into that I won't work with. And this vinyl, the reviews we've gotten from customers have just been stellar. People really like this vinyl, and they said it weeds easy. It cuts easy. It is the hot peel on it is easy. A lot of things that people don't like about doing vinyl, people like with this one. Okay, so yes, somebody had asked, does it all come together? That's actually what I'll show you right now. So we've got a couple kits that we sell on this. We've got a starter kit, and that's what I'll start with, and then we've got upgrades. But this is the starter kit. It comes with the heat press that you saw, the cutter you saw, vinyl that you saw. You got 5 glitters and 5 opaques. The tools that you saw, a pair of tweezers that you did not see, but they do come with it. The software that we used, the little razor blade that I used as well, that little blue razor blade comes with it. And you also get something that I really like to mention that's really important. And it is the first shirt in 55 minutes tutorial. That is a 55-minute tutorial where we walk you through literally from installing the software all the way up to making your first shirt. So each step, one by one, you open up your package, you get a cool little bag. In that bag comes with everything you need. We give you a shirt. We give you the vinyl. We give you all the tools. And we say, plug this USB drive, click start here, and an hour later, you've got your first shirt made. And it's quite easy to do, and it's a lot of fun because you get to customize your own thing. We even provide you some sample artwork to make it from. The next upgrade kit is a larger pro kit with no heat press, because we have folks that are in the DTG business that already have the heat press. They don't have the cutter and the vinyl, so we've got that kit. And then we've got a pro kit. The pro kit comes with 50 yards of vinyl. So you are in production run ready with that much vinyl. A larger heat press, a 16-inch, and the cutter and everything else that you saw. So the biggest difference on the smaller kit to the bigger kit is you get 10 times the vinyl, and you get a larger heat press for those who want to have a 16-inch compared to a 14-inch area. We do have some killer deals on these kits. I guarantee you that. Huge deals that are for call-in. So we want you to communicate with us and our staff on here. Once this is done, I will send out an email with a video of this webinar so you can rewatch it if you need to. And I'll include a coupon code that you can buy online as well. Is there a question?
Yeah, did you remind 6 or more people to sign up for tonight's webinar as well?
So Mark Stevenson and I, back and forth, we were so close. We kept getting registration. And then I had a bunch of people register at once for this one. There was like 5 more people. And I said,
He's got a big family.
I've got a big family. But that is a good point to make now that we're done. I'm going to send over this link. And then I do encourage you guys, if you're thinking about the bling or the rhinestone business or the embroidery business either, come to the CAS webinars, and I'm just resend the link. And you can register for tonight's webinar. That's going to be happening in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And that's going to be, we're going to be using the same cutter and system to make rhinestone transfers. And we're also going to do that in conjunction with an embroidery machine. And we actually have combo kits for all of this stuff together. So you can get a brush and bake and a cut and press. You can get an Avance embroidery machine and a cut and press, or a brush and bake, or all 3 at once, and you save more money the more you buy. Obviously,
sounds amazing.
It sounds amazing. So thank you everybody for joining. Hopefully everyone had a good experience. If there's any more questions, we'll ask them before we disconnect. Otherwise, here is a link to the cut and press page. I think I've provided it, but I'm a link share. So you can click on there. If you click on there, you can watch our other webinar. We have a cool little intro commercial that we made, talks a little bit about it more. We talk in details on this page. And we have a bunch of FAQs. These are the things people ask all the time. And then we do a little unboxing in the bottom too of when you open up your kit, what it's going to look like inside when you get it. So let's see final questions. Thank you. Nice webinar. We appreciate it. All the positive feedback is awesome. We try to get as much detail as we can into a little bit amount of time so you can really get a feel of what it would be like when you own this system and you are making these things. So thanks everybody again for joining. Give us a call at Coleman & Company. Again, our phone number is right at the top of the page. Call, email us, or jump on Facebook and join us in the conversation there. So everybody have a great evening, and we hope to see some of you in tonight's webinar for the brush and bake as well. Have a great night.